The Free State is often called South Africa's breadbasket, a province rich in farming heritage and central to the nation's food security. But in the face of climate shifts, economic pressures, and mounting systemic risks, what does the future hold for its farmers? Hello Mzansi, my name is Duncan Masua. In this episode of Farmers Inside Track, we sit down with the leadership team of Free State Agriculture. CEO Gernie Botha, President Francois Wilken, and Vice President Friedl von Maltitz. Together they reflect on the realities, challenges and opportunities shaping farming in the province today.
Gernie, Friedl, Francois, dit is lekker om met die leierskap van Vrystaat Landbou te gesels. Of course, you are the top executives at Free State Agriculture. Thank you so much for joining us for this conversation. You know, when I think of Free State, I often think it about being the breadbasket of South Africa, and that's what for a long time it's been associated with, apart from the potholes, of course, that you all know very well, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But if you look at the agricultural landscape currently, what would you say, Gernie? How would you describe the current state of agriculture in the province?
Duncan, thank you for the opportunity. In agriculture, as you know, you might find that you get certain areas where it's looking better than in other areas. And I think it's also applicable in this instance. Although there are areas where it's actually going quite well, you will find other areas that definitely there's some problems in that regard.
Francois, daar's natuurlijk 'n lys uitdagings wat ek kan neerlê. Julle weet dit beter as enigiemand anders. Uitdagings wat julle vir julle in die gesig staar. Talking about the challenges, how do you ensure that Free State Agriculture's operational strategy remains farmer-centered, it's responsive, but also forward-looking?
Yeah, as you pointed out, agriculture is a complex business nowadays. We try to focus mainly on agriculture and the development of agriculture in the Free State on all levels. As well, as you said, the food basket of South Africa, and that is true, but we come through 2 very challenging years production. The one year started good and ended bad, and the last one started bad and ended good. And at the moment, there are a lot of challenges, and that is for Free State Agriculture to support our members to go through the ups and downs in the sector.
Friedl, we can talk about challenges for days on end. What would you say differentiates the Free State farming sector from other provinces in terms of strengths, but also in terms of the mindset of producers here in the province?
Duncan, I think the Free State is such a diverse agricultural area. We can go from the southern Free State, predominantly sheep and wool production, all the way to where we are now, this area, large cropping areas, focusing on maize and soya beans and sunflowers, and then a lot of mixed farming throughout the province. And I think the diverse nature of agriculture in the Free State produces a farmer that is constantly making plans to kind of bring down costs of production and to survive different cycles. Diversifying has helped, I think, the Free State farmers to survive a lot of droughts and excessively wet years and a lot of production challenges. So I think that makes the Free State a little unique.
Gernie, ek sien Vrystaat as een van die sterk provinsies as dit kom by landbouproduksie in die land. How is Free State Agriculture actively working to create a space for new era farmers or new voices, women as well, but also those historically marginalized communities? How are you guys working around that to create a space for all these voices in the agricultural space?
Duncan, we recently had a strategic session. Obviously, you need to renew your strategies from time to time. And we recently had a strategic session where we identified some challenges. And we're currently in the process of developing a strategy to address some of the challenges that we've identified in as far as the youth is concerned and that kind of stuff.
Francois, ons het nou deur die paai gery in die Vrystaat en ek dink jy amper jy kan dit bottles noem jy, dis amper so swembuttons wat julle hierso het. En ek verstaan dit is 'n groot frustrasie vir boere, soveel so dat julle baie keer julle eie geld gebruik om baie reg te maak. Ons weet dit goed, miljoene rande wat boere bestuur hier in die Vrystaat om baie reg te maak. What would you say, what are the systemic risks that worry you most today? And what long-term solutions is Free State agriculture championing?
The roads you traveled on are mainly the main roads and the tarred roads. But what they sometimes don't look at is the roads to get to the main roads. And that is the rural roads, mainly gravel roads. And that is a very, very big problem in the Free State. And we are attending to that. And as you mentioned, is that the farmers are spending millions on their own to just get their products to the farm, the insets to the farm, and products off the farm to the markets. And for the long term, we want to suggest that the department must look at privatization of the rural roads, because for them it's not important to attend to the rural roads. That we can see on a daily basis. So we are busy with the department to see if we can assist them in planning and spending the money on the right places, because the farmers can't go forward to build the roads themselves.
I mean, I can't imagine what the maintenance bill of these farmers look like when it comes to their vehicles. And it's just not farmers, it's an entire farming community that make use of these roads. How much money do they have to spend every second month on car maintenance?
Yeah, it's not only that. It's the medical services to the farms, and there are farm schools, and there are children transported on these routes every day. And the accidents, it's difficult for the schools and the medical personnel to come to the farms and to service the people on the farms. It's not just the farming community.
Yeah. Friedl, we can, of course, talk about these challenges, but I'm sure that amidst all these challenges, there are inspiring stories. For you, what are some of the most inspiring farmer-led success stories or even innovations that you've seen recently here in the Free State?
Yeah, the farmers in the Free State are incredibly resilient, and we can always talk about the challenges, but the most inspiring thing for me is to see how the farmers come together to face some of these challenges and fix it. Francois spoke about grading and fixing the roads. And that alone, if you see farmers union or a group of farmers come together, it's not their job and they already pay tax. They're not supposed to fix their own roads, but they get together, they make the plan and they fix the road. And that's extremely inspiring because it's a group of people who can organize and work together and solve problems. That goes to, adapting to, it's a new technology and regenerative farming, and farmers are very good at organizing, putting their heads together to solve problems and to make their farming successful.
If you had the full attention of our president and some of the key decision makers in the country as well as agriculture, what would your message be on behalf of Free State farmers, Friedl?
My message would be just give us the tools that we need to feed this country. First of all is infrastructure. It's the gravel roads that lead from the farms. It's the tar roads. It's the vehicle testing stations, the police stations. If the infrastructure and the services are there, and we can get our product to market, we can get our inputs to the farm, and everything that has to be exported and imported, we can get in and out of the harbors and the ports faster. That would make farming in South Africa even better for the economy and help the economy of the whole country.
Francois, for you?
I would say to them, just keep politics out of farming, because farming is such a important sector of this country to feed the people. And let the farmers develop the upcoming farmers and teach them to farm profitably. And politics are the main source of, how can I say, die wrijving tussen die boere en die opkomende boere. Ons wil hulle verskriklik graag help. We want to assist them to become full commercial farmers, but the politics are always in the way of that.
Yeah. Currently, I'm sitting here and I'm wondering, as the CEO of Free State Agriculture, what keeps you up at night? What is your hopes for farming in the Free State?
To a large extent, substandard services will always remain a concern. Only the farmers, but the community as well. It's not on anymore, the substandard services that you get rendered in some instances. And I think that needs to be addressed rather sooner than later. Friedl mentioned resilience. I think the resilience of the farming community as a whole is always inspiring. And it gives you a warm feeling in the heart, and that keeps you when things tend to get too much and you think, yes, now if I reach the end of the road. It's always when you get to such an instance, you'll find, this is good for my soul, and it keeps you going.
Friedl, what does the future of farming look like in the Free State, and what excites you about the future?
I'm always excited if I look at farmers, and if you're a place like at Nampo and you can see, farmers are usually driven, I think, by two things. First, their faith. Farming keeps you close to nature. That requires a lot of faith sometimes, and then passion. And you can see everyone walking around here has a passion to be a farmer, has a passion for what they're doing, and that excites me. And that's always positive. And if you have those two things, most of the problems, if we work together and stand together, we can try and fix most of the problems.
Yeah. Francois?
I think for me, as Friedl said, the people are positive, the farmers. They are going through tough times at the moment, but I think there's a light in the tunnel ahead. And as I said before, let's keep agriculture and farming and food production out of the politics. I will ask the government, don't focus on the farmers for everything that's going wrong in the country. And that will keep us going.
There you have it, CEO Gernie Botha, President Francois Wilken, and Vice President Friedl von Maltitz. You can of course read more on this topic by visiting www.foodformzansi.co.za. Remember to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss any of the episodes. From me, Duncan Masiwa, our technical producer Megan van der Vent, and the rest of #Team Food for Mzansi, thanks for listening.